Today we have 2 new rumors to review, both of which are from 4chan. Let's get into the first one. This one was posted 2 hours ago at the time of recording, and it's about Legends Arceus. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Our goal for the end of the year is 1,000 subscribers. With your help, we're almost there. New region, Sinnoh in the past, but it's different. New graphics engine coming out in 2022, which means it'll be a 3-year gap like how Gen 8 was a 3-year gap to 7. New Pokemon, new Farfetch'd and Stantler Evo. These are the 2 Pokemon that people have been speculating about whether or not they're a new form, a new evolution, or just a placeholder Pokemon. New combat and gameplay mechanics. You can't prove me wrong on this. Legends Arceus is the start of Generation 9. This post is this person trying to make a point based on all of the information we have on Legends Arceus. It really points it to the fact that this will be the start of Generation 9. I thought this would be an interesting topic to discuss because there was a lot of conversation and disagreement on whether or not Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was Generation 7, Generation 8, maybe some sort of in-between. Now Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was on a new console, which had us thinking that, you know, this should be a new generation, but it was a remake. It was the first time we had a remake on a new console, but not after a new generation. And the thing that really got me thinking was that Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee even introduced new Pokemon in the form of Meltan and Melmetal. Beyond that, it also introduced a wide variety of mechanics that we saw later in Generation 8 when we finally got that Sword and Shield on the Switch. What this person is bringing up is that we're very likely to get new Pokemon in Pokemon Legends Arceus. And because we're getting new Pokemon, would that be a continuation of Generation 8, or would that indicate that this is the first Generation 9 game? Hey, just as I was uploading this footage, I looked on Twitter, and it looks like Centro Pokemon is also suggesting and having the same discussion that we are about whether or not Pokemon Legends Arceus could be a Generation 9 game. They say if Pokemon Legends had around 70 new Pokemon, would it be the 9th generation? What defines a generation? This question will get more and more difficult to answer as time goes on. I actually am starting to like how Pokemon games aren't so rigid and defined by their placement within a generation. I actually like that. I would much prefer additional Pokemon games that give us new stories in old regions and new stories in new regions, but also, you know, old stories, revised old stories within. What I like about Pokemon is the immersion within the lore and the characters and the story. What I love is the world building. And in order to get that, we can't have a focus on a region for just 2.5 years or 1 year when a game comes out. What we need is for us to return to older games, and what we need is for games to reference each other. And I think that will be possible in the future. Now that we see how BDSP will be developed by ILCA, and Game Freak is willing to let other developers help out in the creation of these Pokemon games, I think the future of Pokemon is bright. I think the future of Pokemon games will allow for a great amount of flexibility when it comes to storytelling and where games can be placed. I'm hoping for a Pokemon future where 2D and 3D Pokemon can live simultaneously, just as Mario does this and just as Zelda does this. My big wish for the next 5 years is a Black and White 3 game. That's really what I want to see. This Twitter page also says that a new generation would be defined by new graphics engines, new Pokemon, new combat mechanics and gameplay, a new region, and new story and new professor. I don't think a lot of these are actually real reasons or real definitions of a new generation. What I think actually defines a new generation is a new set of starters. I think a new, historically it's been a new region, but I think that might really be it. And the fact that this Sinnoh region is so far removed from what we have known of Sinnoh for the last 15 years or 10 years, however long it's been. I think the only thing that would define a new generation really is either a new set of starters or a huge batch of new Pokemon. That's what I think. Now we have a rumor that surfaced on 4chan yesterday. This one's about the BDSP remakes. All right, let's get right into it. Megas are back. Starters get Megas as well as a few other Sinnoh Pokemon. And Cynthia's Garchomp Mega evolves. So right off the bat, this person is assuming that Megas do return. And I know there was a leak about that, speculating is, almost confirming that Megas will return. And while they will, even if old Megas do return, I don't think it's absolutely guaranteed that we will get new Megas for older Pokemon. I mean, let's bring it back to Let's Go and Pikachu again. That was a game that we all assumed would get new Megas. We all thought we would get new Megas for that game. Turns out that wasn't the case. However, just because something happens one time or even twice, that doesn't make it a pattern. If BDSP doesn't get new Megas, I think they will get some sort of new legendary or legendary form, or even new Pokemon. The last time a Pokemon game came out without introducing new Pokemon, Fire Red and Leaf Green, I would say. I think that was the last time. Every other time a new Pokemon was introduced that wasn't already officially announced. In the older games, Pokemon that weren't officially revealed would be hidden in the code. People would know about it. But I think when those things were officially given out, that counts as a new release, because that is when us, the consumer, was meant to receive that Pokemon. So I think BDSP is going to be no different. I do think that these games will introduce new Pokemon in some way. So far, the tier list for me is new Primal or Mega forms for Dialga and Palkia, right? I think that's at the top of the tier list. Below that would be new Mega evolutions for previous Pokemon, including the starters, and then also new regional forms for Generation 5, 6, 7, 8 Pokemon, right? Like if those Pokemon were to find their way into Sinnoh, what forms would they create, right? Would they evolve to adapt? I would love to see some snowy versions of some of these Pokemon. But back to the rumor, Platinum stuff is back, like Battle Frontier, Villa, expanded decks, mythical events, etc. Yeah, expanded decks is interesting. Yeah, Pokedex has all Pokemon from generations 1 through 4. That would be about 450, I think even a little higher than that. That's a big dex, and that would fill out. Yeah, that's a pretty big dex, and that kind of adds up. That aligns up with what we had in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Arceus and Giratina episode in post game. Lore will tie into Pokemon Legends Arceus. Episode includes Distortion World. Very cool. Yeah. So what I think is gonna happen because of the proximity of these game releases, BDSP and Pokemon Legends Arceus. Because of the proximity of these game releases, what I really think is gonna happen is that in BDSP we're gonna get some sort of story, right? It's gonna be grand. It's gonna be great. Then there's gonna be some questions, right? Like at the end of Diamond and Pearl, one of my questions was always like, what happens to Cyrus? That's one of the number one questions. He just disappears. I think there's gonna be a lot of questions like that emphasized in this game, where then 4 months later or whenever we get Pokemon Legends Arceus, those answers will have additional context, right? Maybe even answers. I mean, if we're dealing with time traveling creatures, maybe things in the future could travel back in time and be answered that way. I think that's an interesting concept that we could explore later. This post says that the GTS is back, which is kind of confusing because GTS is available in Pokemon Home, but maybe there'll be a better integration between Pokemon Home and the GTS within the console. So that's, yeah, maybe you can access it within the game. That'd be interesting. Contests and Underground have online. Yeah, okay, contests in Underground have online. Contests having online access, that's actually, I don't think that's ever happened. Did that happen in the Gen 3 remakes? Yeah, that's interesting. That'd be fun to do. I remember, like, I never played contests with any of my friends. I've dabbled in it. I've dabbled in the contest, but there's no trainer customization. So that's a little disappointing if this is real. There's no DLC. You can catch all legendaries from generations 1 through 4 in the game. Heart Gold and Soul Silver had a lot of legendary encounters and legendary events, and if BDSP kind of replicated some of those encounters, that'd be very cool. Or if you can go to the Sinnoh ruins, and for whatever reason Lugia or Ho is there, that'd be fun. That'd be some really good lore. Looker is back. HMs are replaced by a new app on your Pokédex. Following Pokemon is only in Amity Square, and it's only the cute Pokemon plus your starters, like in Platinum. So that's disappointing. What I really thought was gonna happen, they would bring back Following Pokemon. Following Pokemon works very well in the 2D format, and I was hoping that we would be able to get all of the new Pokemon, or at least all of the old Pokemon, as Following. And to see this, now I'm crossing my fingers that maybe this is a little inaccurate. There's a Poffin minigame, and that's back, and there's great remastered soundtrack. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck hunting.